Hi everybody, how you doing? I'm Pabs, a rice themed VTuber and an artist, and today we're going to be working on a new page for a comic. Let me tuck myself away into my corner here. I can't feel peace unless I'm down here. It's like when it's like when you put down like a cardboard box or like a differently colored tile of cloth near a cat. It's like I can't get comfortable without it. This is my little cubbyhole. There are many like it, but this one's well, actually, this one there's just many like it. I guess a lot of people could stay here if they wanted to. When I have guests over, they're usually like right down here with me, so it's I couldn't say that it's exclusively mine. Anyway, let's start by doing the regular thing, and that would be. Oh God, do I remember how to make comics? Oh, this might be a problem. Right, the frame border folder. This thing. Right. Okay, so we want to bring it closer to here. I really want to rework this template. It's been serving me well, but like I'm starting to think that I didn't quite understand how CSV and perhaps the actual printing of the comic would have worked. So now I have to manually set it every single time I set it up. But I think that's almost like a good thing, I feel like it gives me a little bit more control over the creative process. Please go closer to the green line. There we go. Thank you. That's over. Is it? Oh God, it's so hard to see it. Okay, I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that that's it. I'm not gonna worry about it too much. I don't think anybody will if they're reading it. Yeah, I've mentioned this before. I've read somewhere, I don't remember where specifically, but I've read somewhere that like the average reader will spend, I think it was 8 seconds max on a comic page. Not like one panel, an entire page. All right, I'm going to bring that up a little bit further. Hmm. Making the panel layouts is honestly a lot of fun. I enjoy it a lot. Okay, so since this is the first page of a new issue, it's supposed to be like an establishing shot of what we're supposed to be looking at, right? Yeah. This issue will be interesting because to peel back the curtain a little bit, from what I have access to, like some finished pages and some preliminary sketches that somebody else made for this issue, which in theory will make my life a lot easier, right? But the thing is, I love doing stuff myself as well, and I do want to put my own touch on it. So it's going to be a little bit, we're not going to fully follow the pre-existing or the ones that somebody else worked on. They worked hard on it, right? But I want to be able to like impart my own touch on it, and that's gonna mean, what will it mean exactly? I guess I guess that's why we're here, right? See what it means when I put my own touch on things, my own spin on it. Put a little English on it, if you will. I've never understood that phrase. I know that it comes from like pool, right? Like if you hit a billiard. Hang on. Yeah, if you hit like a pool ball and you put like a spin on it, right? That's called putting some English on it I believe, colloquially. Yeah, I wanted to make this like a a fancier bird, right? The pre-existing design is basically an eagle with 4 wings, which I really am a fan of. I want to see if I can make it a little bit fancier, though. Particularly since it's only appearing for, like, a total of 3 panels, I think. 3.5, kind of. Man. I know, like, most, I don't know if this is true of everyone. It's certainly true of me, particularly since I was influenced a lot. I remember as a kid loving making characters who had like wings and stuff, right? Like I don't make I don't do that anymore because I don't particularly enjoy drawing wings. This is back when I just wanted to make like a design cool. And I wasn't really thinking about like, oh, but I'm gonna have to draw it every single time I want to, show the character. So my design philosophy has changed a little bit in that regard. Hmm. Maybe if I like. I kind of want to do it like a worm's eye view, right? But if that's the case, I'm wondering if it might not be better to like make the eagle bird thing kind of like get it rotated a little bit here. Hmm. Let me take another look at the script. Okay. Trying to figure out. Wait, I can just look up worm's eye view on the Google. Let's see. Ooh, yeah. All right, let me get some public domain ones up in here. Okay, now we're cooking. Let's see what else. Let me see if I can't find other ones, right? Just in case. Maybe I look up like bird's eye view forest. Hmm. The thing is, a lot of these are a little bit too like heavily. How do I put this? These forests are doing a little bit too healthy. I need a forest that's not because it's like part of the story that the forest is messed up, right? But like so that you can actually see the sky as part of the picture. You know, the forest needs to be a little bit rowdy, a little bit unhealthy, a little bit unkempt, like this, but worse. What am I saying? Maybe if I just like really zoom it in. Can I like combine them? That might actually be the answer here. Hang on, I gotta go to BRB just for a minute. Be right back. All right, apologies for the delay. We are back in it. Okay, so I was talking about trying to clear a little bit of the area here, right? So here's what I'm thinking. Actually, what if we rotated this? Yeah, okay. And then right on top of there, I'm gonna grab me one of these other pictures. Hang on, it's still like taking up the transformation. I don't know how big 11 inches by 17 inches is in terms of like canvas size, but I'm guessing it's substantial. Which is why like taking a big image like this isn't always the best idea. All right, so here's how we finesse this. I'm gonna grab this part here. Oh, that is tiny compared to the rest of it, dude. But yeah, you guys see what I'm trying to do here, right? Like, I'm just gonna like, I don't know, collage these guys together. Is there another area that's like kind of clear like this here? No, the rest of it is pretty wooded. So then maybe what we do is we rotate this one to this side. Huh. Yeah. Okay. Hang on, I can see it. I can see the I have the vision. Hmm. And then maybe if I use the liquefy tool. I don't know though. That feels like a dangerous path to go down. We're gonna get some weird, messed up looking trees. Some unhealthy arboreals. Unless. I'm still thinking, right? So my next idea was actually to. Okay, so. Yeah, okay. Okay, I have a new secondary idea. All right, so the reason I flipped this around like I did here is because my idea is that since the bird, the flight path of this particular raptor would that be the right idea? Like, I think that's like a generic bird for a very specific birds of prey. I'm not sure if it's the right term. Okay, since I kind of want to have the bird kind of like at the focus of the panel here. Okay. Maybe if I hang on. Let me grab this dude here. Only flatten this bird up. That doesn't look right. That does not look right at all. All right. Try a different thing. Okay, getting better. grab this. The thing I always say, right, is that like the main problem that has kind of like arisen from having like heavy anime and manga influences in my life period, I would say my art, but like it's kind of like like that's one of those things where like if you do it a lot, it just influences you in a lot of different contexts. Is that like, because a lot of the art that I look at is based on like Japanese comics, I have this bad habit of maybe not communicating actions in left to right as well as I could. That being said, all right, let me try and do something here. Because what I want to try and do is move the border to around here so you can see a little bit of like the off wing. The only problem being that hang on. The main problem being that like okay, this thing is like snapping like crazy. I don't like that. Anyway, the main problem being that once I pull it back to around here, I do wonder if that's going to take away from the fact that this panel is supposed to have like the most action out of all of them. Unless, I don't know. I feel like it's a bad idea to like decrease the size of panel 3 even more, but well, it's a tough world out there. I'm sure future Pabs will figure it out. A little bit further apart. A little bit further apart. There we go. Okay, and then another thing that I could do to kind of alleviate this a little bit is I think I could try to use a more tweaked perspective on the bird here. Show this bird kind of like being in the lead here. The birds No, birds don't flap their wings a whole lot when they're actually moving, do they? No, they don't. They definitely don't. That's not a thing that they do. At least not hummingbirds do. That's the one exception, I think. Hummingbirds for sure flap like crazy, dog. They are out there flapping their little explosive tiny hearts out. I don't know. Even now, I have like a very weird perception of hummingbirds because I feel like they're one, very small, and two, very fast. So I have a feeling like, I don't know, when I was a kid, and even now, I feel like if I look at a hummingbird wrong, it will explode like a bomb. This bird has 4 wings. Does that mean you could harvest twice as many chicken breasts from it? That sounds delicious. Hmm. Okay, no. I think what it's going to have to be is that I am going to have to. Well, first of all, I'm going to need to remember how to do the thing that I want to do right now, which is merge two panel things together. Unless that's impossible, and I'm just better off trying to redo this whole thing, which might be the case actually. Yeah, no. Let me redo the panel frame border. Was there like a way to do that? Hang on. Blah, blah, blah. Layer settings, ruler, frame. Here we go. No, wait, actually, that's not going to help. All right. Yeah, now let's just go to layer and make a new frame border folder. One day I'll be able to say that on the first try without twisting my tongue, but today is not that day. Thankfully, it seems to be snapping to wherever the last one was, so, thank goodness for small favors. All right, search and destroy mission. Here we go. Wait, no. Oh god. This is affecting the old. Oh no, hang on. That was affecting the other borders. That is a big no-no. Hmm. Nope, nope. I'm trying. I'm doing it again. I'm doing that thing where like I accidentally overthink what I actually need to do. Hmm. Unless I feel like every single time I go like unless I feel like that's a demon talking. Like, do you ever have those moments where you like realize that you're pushing your luck, but you just try to like nudge it on forward anyways. You realize that you're pushing your luck, but you have to try anyway, either because the reward is worth it or because you just want to see what happens. I feel like that's what happens when I say unless like that. The demon in my brain, yeah, yeah. It's good that I have art as a creative outlet. Otherwise, my inner demons might become violently external. No, that's not a real thing. That's not a real thing. That would mean that I do like that dude from that one horror game from New Blood. I'm pretty sure that was the plot of like Faith. Okay, this is the best one for the idea that I have. Hmm. Yeah, I might have to talk this idea over with Raph, but I've got an interesting idea for how to approach this, which is to say, well, I'll cut down on the number of panels. Yeah, okay, I think that's actually a pretty safe idea because of the fact that, like, just from the perspective of this, if I do need to cut down the panel, I can just shrink stuff and rearrange a couple things, but that shouldn't be too much of a hassle. That being said, I do have to bring this bird a little bit further up. bring this upward over here as well. Then down here. Ooh, hang on. I've got an idea for a panel layout. Again, look, listen. I have to have these ideas, otherwise I had a whole moment just now where I was saying I should just try to go for the simple route, but you know, I've always said that comics isn't a sport for cowards. I hesitated to call it a sport. I'm not sure if this qualifies as a sport. It certainly feels like a workout. Hmm. Okay, so hear me out. Hear me out. So this panel will be the kind of like bit. Okay, so essentially, what's going to happen is that the main character is going to fly in from here, overtake this, speed demon of a hopefully native predator, and then like in the fourth panel, the bird is supposed to look like dazed and confused. I was thinking that like I could just use the third panel to like show the main character overtaking the bird. Hmm. Yeah, and that way it's almost like a kind of like introductory moment. Yeah, okay. I think I'm gonna go for that. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Nice pair of big meaty fists. Okay. Oh wait, if that's the case, then I feel like having like the sparkle come in from her back here might be better. Because okay, yeah. Like you can then see the bird getting like swerved over here, and it's because like the protagonist is like coming in. Okay, yeah, that might be better. Yeah, that way you can almost like follow it more easily, right? Huh. Today I am a genius. I don't remember where I first heard that phrase. I say it a lot. Like today I am a genius. I'm always a genius is the problem. Having today as a specifier doesn't really like narrow it down in terms of like genius moments. However, I do feel like it's a good sentiment to have like when you have like a really good thought. It's nice to pat yourself on the back for it every once in a while. Acknowledge the big brain moment. Bask in it just a little bit. Oh, I don't know if this would be irresponsible. What if I had her like checking like a map or something, or like some kind of GPS? Or maybe she's like almost like looking for something. God, I love it when characters with helmets do like normal stuff, like you know, scratching their head or like I don't know, like like you know, digging out the earwax or something. I think it's hilarious when they do that because like you can't get in there, bud. There's nothing for your head in your head for you to grab at. Like it makes sense for Hawk to do this because she's looking for it's just something you kind of do. But I feel like usually you do that because you need to get the sun out of your eyes while you're looking for something. I got to be careful and make sure like it doesn't look like she's saluting someone. Let's see. Let's put these hips a little bit further back. Oh yeah. You guys want to hear the worst app startup that I've heard of in a while? Even if you don't, I'm going to tell you anyways. So I've heard about this app called Swimply, right? Now what this is that it's basically an Airbnb for pools. So if you have like a private pool in your place, right? Or like you just own a pool or have access to a pool, what you can do is you can go on Swimply, put it up for like rental, and some dude who likes going to other people's pools will eventually show up at your door, cash in hand, hoping to like get take a quick dip in there. So the thing is, you could not pay me to use this service. Is the thing. There are, I don't know how to put it. Like there's something about like other people's pools that makes me extremely germophobic. So there's something about swimming pools in general that makes me extremely germophobic. I don't know why. Like I'm generally not like a super picky guy when it comes to germs, right? Like I worry about them, sure, but like I'm not like a germaphobe, right? But there's something about pools that just makes me absolutely fearful. I don't know. I think I'm guessing it's because like I'm just like marinated in the stuff, right? If I don't feel like the water I'm in is like sanitary, then there's like no escape, right? Like if there's like a gross puddle or something, right? I can just sidestep that. That's not a problem. But if I'm like marinating in it, then there's just no escape. But yeah, that is the worst startup app idea that I've heard of in a while. Yeah, that's the other thing. Using somebody else's pool if you don't like know and trust them is has to be like some kind of emotion. Like I feel like this is an app made for a very specific kind of person, and I just know that that person and I will not see eye to eye on a whole lot of matters. Okay, I think what the problem is that these legs are dangling a little too low. Hmm. Okay, other leg starts here, goes like this. Whenever I have like a lot of scribbles like this, I'm kind of like in awe at myself for being able to distinguish them until I realize that I can't distinguish them, and then that's when the problem begins. Maybe I made the boot too big. I think that's what's bothering me about this leg. The problems, the issues, the conundrums, if you will. Also, if I'm making her look for something, I should probably like tilt her head down a little bit. All right, now here's how we do it. Bring the hand down first, and then change the forearm to match the hand. That's the strat. That's the technique. Now let's try to clean this up a little bit. No, this needs to like go in a little bit further. There we go. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's already a bit of a hard sell. Airbnb to like your average Joe, your average guy who has never heard of Airbnb before in his life is already a little bit of a hard sell, right? Like, you know, there's nothing wrong with being, you know, having faith in others' hospitality, right? But that's not me. That's not someone I can be. Oh yeah, speaking of bad business investments and ideas, y'all see that new fucking stupid ski goggle headset that Apple's been talking about? Is this a place where people get them rice balls from? That's correct. Unfortunately, if you do want to get rice for your rice balls, you will have to fight me in hand-to-hand combat, with one of us presumably dying right afterwards. So, I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready to take a life. The rice balls are really good, though. There's like roasted salmon in there. It's pretty good. I only have the $800 in Apple rice balls, and I wanted to exchange them. Best I can do is store credit, bud. Should have taken them to an actual Apple retailer. Unfortunately, there's not much I can do because of all their proprietary rice technology. They do send hit squads after you if you repair an Apple iPhone at a non-Apple facility, but fortunately, the hit squads are underpaid, as are most of their workers. So they're not really that much of a problem if you're competent enough. Yeah. Hey, Leah, how you been doing? Welcome to the stream. Eh, The funniest thing is, right? Like, from what I can tell, it's not supposed to be like a VR headset, right? Like, I don't know what the Quest's deal is, right? I'm not sure. I've never used a Quest before in my life. I know it's supposed to be like an actual VR headset, like the Oculus. I know that was like Meta, or the company formerly known as Facebook's response to like the Oculus. I think I'm pretty sure it's just going to be like a head-mounted Apple Watch or something with some extra like utilities, which is an ironic work considering how useless it's going to be. I'm being really mean on this thing. I don't like to rag on like cool, interesting technology, but the problem is I don't consider this either cool or interesting. Like some people are absolutely working very hard on this and making sure that this headset is going to be like the best they can make. And much respect to them, right? Like absolutely nothing wrong with putting 100% of your effort into it. I just wish it was like I just wish they had like they worked for literally anybody else. Those poor souls. Okay, I think that should be sufficient to differentiate everything. I'm gonna like drag this foot just a little bit further back. Never mind. Gonna have to do this the hard way. Yeah, maybe that's the issue. I'm not going. Rather than going not small enough, I'm going too small. I need to go bigger. Yeah, that's actually working out pretty good, I think. Yeah, that's looking much better. I'm a big fan of how this is coming along. Okay. I do wonder. Wait, are I'm definitely not going to look this up because I feel like it's going to make more work for me if I do. How high are birds of prey supposed to be flying at any given time? Hang on. I can't imagine it's like too high. I know eagles have like crazy eyes. Oh, here we go. List of birds by fly heights. God bless Wikipedia articles. All right, let's see. What's the maximum height? All right, maximum height. Eagle. Hell yeah. Okay, Ruppel's vulture, also called Ruppel's griffin vulture, use their excellent eyesight to scan the landscape from a relatively static aerial position of 11,300 meters. Sheesh. That's 37,100 feet for y'all using freedom units. The common crane. I love it when an animal's scientific name is just like two words repeated. The common crane, scientific name Grus grus, flies at a nice 10,000 meters, recorded above the Himalayas. This great height allows him to avoid eagles in mountain passes. That's hilarious. Yo, that's such a funny workaround. Like, the crane just did not want to get eaten by the eagle, so it just flies higher than the eagle. Good luck swooping on me when I'm above you, dummy. Surprisingly, it's the mallard. Wait, this is okay. No, this is a list of birds by flight heights. Like this is just like total bird height flights, not specifically birds of prey. Griffins don't technically count as birds of prey, but I think we can count. Okay, so like based on the common crane, right? I can probably guess that these guys that eagles fly below the 10,000 meter mark or 33,000 feet mark. What does this guy look like from 10,000 meters? Is that above the cloud line? Would you be able to be among the clouds if you're flying at 10,000 at 10,000 10,000 above the ground level? This NASA website should help me. Never mind. Okay, so the NASA website has this very useful chart. So it's showing like the troposphere, atmosphere, thermosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and it's also showing like the limits of the different kind of measurement systems that we have. So we have LiDAR, which is a laser-based detection system. We have radar, which everybody knows about. We have an optical one, which is limited by the aurora, and up around the 300 kilometer mark is a satellite. Unfortunately, we're looking at around like right around here for our purposes, like even less than that, like around here, like right at the bottom of the L here. So this chart is not particularly helpful, but hang on. Wait, I can just Google cloud line. How high do you have to be to see above to be above the clouds? Blah blah blah. Cloud ceiling. Okay, here we go. Cloud ceiling refers to the height above the Earth's surface or the cloud base. So the lowest cloud layer if there's more than one type of cloud in the sky. Low clouds, which includes cumulus and clouds, no fancy name for them, just normal clouds, can form anywhere from near the surface to up to 2,000 meters. Okay, what do you mean from near the surface of Earth? In any case, 2,000 meters. Yeah, clouds, trademarked. Yeah. Finally, the cloud that everybody like uploads their data to. All right, let's see. Okay, yeah, this is way high up. Okay, so middle clouds form at altitudes of 2,000 to 4,000 meters, or 6,500 to 13,000 feet. Finally, the cloud. No. Okay, so we're good. We're good. We're good with the birds flying above the clouds. Oh, thank God. That would have bugged me forever if I hadn't looked that up. Anyways, will be. It's time to actually get started on the drawing here. I think the first thing first. Just came to sniff around. I'm gonna go watch the Spider-Verse movie. Catch you later. Yo, have fun with that. I'm hearing really good things about it. I hope you enjoy your time at Spider-Verse. Thanks for dropping by. It's always nice to hear from you. Let's see. Oh, is that, what this? Okay, what did I make my? They're giving it a 9 out of 10. Well, I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. I'm honestly really excited. Yeah, I'm happy you're happy as well. Like, go out there, have some fun, dude. Remember, it's always ethical to bring lips sealed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah. Remember, always bring your own snacks to movie theaters. It's technically not against the law. I think. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I've always had like a weird relationship with like getting Korean corn dogs. Yo, those Korean corn dogs, dude. Oh my God. Like I can the thing about Korean corn dogs is that they are delicious. They are very sweet. I can literally feel myself breaking out whenever I eat one. They are so good though. I don't know. I guess my hormones still haven't quite settled down from being an adolescent rice bag because I still get acne pretty regularly. I don't think there's an age where you stop getting acne, but I do know that it's supposed to like chill out a little bit after you know pass go collect $200 and exit puberty. From what I understand. I don't know. So I'm guessing like it is one of those, your skin is like one of those weird things where it's like super different for everybody. So what's true for one person might not be true for another person. You know, could just be that you're like an outlier among the normal as well. Man, my skin is a real pain in the ass for something that's supposed to protect my every inch of my body, except my eyes, I guess. But it technically also protects my eyes because I have eyelids. You'd think the darn thing would be a little bit more robust, is all I'm saying. Like our rhinoceri. I bet you dollars to donuts rhinoceri never have to worry about their skincare routine. Those dudes are just like bulletproof and don't give a fuck about anything. You want to talk about grind set? You gotta get on the rhinoceros grind set. No other way to be. TBH, in my personal opinion. You know, you sit around all day, you eat grass, you have like a 40 kilometer per hour charge. You're bulletproof basically. It's a pretty sweet deal, I'm not gonna lie. You have birds that pick off the parasites on your skin because you can't actually feel your skin at all. Okay, maybe that's one downside. I wouldn't like to. I mean, I don't know. I've never had birds pick out the parasites on my skin. I've never tried it before. Maybe I can be. Maybe I can be converted. Maybe I can be convinced. Anyway, yeah, I was talking about the stupid Apple headset thing. Bird pilled. Yeah. Yeah, rhinoceros Maxon bird pilled. Seriously, I'm not even joking when I say that we are like one or two like super esoteric like weirdo fitness YouTubers away from like going back to like the boxing like they're like the thing there's the boxing rebellion is a super interesting thing, but to me it's always undercut by the fact that like these dudes were running around and as part of their propaganda of like on the Chinese side of the boxer rebellion, they said that their kung fu would actually protect you from bullets, which was not true. I mean, I don't know, maybe I doubt any of them believe their own hype, right? But like, I feel like we are one or two like alpha male YouTubers away from like having that reoccur in the public zeitgeist. I don't know. I'm worried about them. I worry for the kids. I worry for the people who think that martial arts will make you bulletproof. Martial arts will do a lot of things for you, but it will not make you bulletproof, unfortunately. Yeah, man. You know what was a weird movie that gave me like an existential crisis. You know what movie part of the movie gave me an existential crisis that absolutely did not give anybody else an existential crisis? So in the first movie in the John Wick series, there is a scene of a shootout at a club that the bad guy owns, right? So Mr. Wick, Johnny to his friends. So Mr. Wick is just going around, right? He's tearing it up. He's going around. He's shooting dudes with that weird center axis relock, whatever thing that he does. And one of the dudes that he encounters during this is this like super built Russian dude. Like this dude who was just hanging out in a pool in the club. This super built Russian guy. And the Russian guy, you could see this guy's abs. Like this dude is like mega built. And he steps to John Wick, and John immediately drops him like a bag of potatoes because he has a gun and the other guy doesn't. And like that moment gave me a little bit of existential crisis because like I was like, oh my god, if I can just like die to one gunshot, then why would I ever bother exercising? Like, what's that gonna do for me? Yeah, I had like one of those weird moments, and I eventually snapped out of it. I don't know, nothing in particular snapped me out of it. It's like, you know, I was one of those people. I'm like one of those dudes who was like super worried that like I don't know. I get worried about a lot of things. Things can stress me out very easily, unfortunately. I'll admit that that's a weakness of mine. One that I hope to correct at some point, somehow. I think like I eventually got over it just by like realizing how much fun it is to exercise sometimes, right? Like, martial arts and just exercise in general is just genuinely fun. Like, I know some people don't like exercise, both on principle and, just because their bodies just literally can't handle it. And that's all well and good as well, but I have a lot of fun exercising and practicing martial arts. So if it makes me healthier, even if it won't stop a bullet, it's definitely not time wasted by any means. So yeah, I think that's kind of like the epiphany that I had afterwards. But yeah, and I guarantee you that nobody else who was watching that movie, I don't know, maybe they did, but I doubt anybody else who watched that movie had that moment. I could almost guarantee it. Yeah. See, that guy's mistake wasn't that he thought that his muscles could protect him. It's that he was like in a nightclub owned by a Russian mobster, presumably being also hired by that Russian mobster, and seeing a dude with a gun and not immediately ducking for the hills. Like that guy could have avoided that situation in his life while being strong in so many ways. Like this was not a one-time fuck up. This was not him just like one time thinking that he could take a dude with a gun. Like there are many fuck up steps to this ultimate life-defining moment for this guy. Well, presumably life-defining. I don't know. Does your moment of death count as a life-defining moment? I feel like it should. Whatever. I get. Yeah, by definition, I suppose it does, huh? Sucks to be him. God, I really hope that like somebody figures out how to jailbreak that stupid Apple headset like day one, and you can just do all kinds of crazy stuff with it. I feel the thing is right. I'm not sure what kind of software that thing's going to be running. I don't know if it's going to be like an edited version of iOS, but if it's running something like, I don't know, like something non-proprietary, you could probably jailbreak that thing, like how people have been using their Steam Decks to emulate older games. You know, Apple, for the as bad as their products quality can be, or as short as their products lifespans can be, they do actually have some fairly powerful technology backing it up. So if somebody figures out how to jailbreak one of those things, it might actually be quite the win. Granted, it's still not going to justify the $3,000 price of admission, but you know. Oh, I'm sorry, not $3,000. $3,000, 500. God, they've really gotten brazen, huh? Oh yeah, and also it still looks a little bit silly. I don't know. The unfortunate thing is that there's very few ways to make like a wraparound headset look cool. I think like the best thing, your best option is probably to slap some LEDs on the thing. But even then, you still look a little. It's still a bit of a hard sell. I feel right. Like I the unfortunate thing about it, like a lot of aesthetics, and I don't know. I think this might be a skill issue in that regard. I feel like a lot of like aesthetics that I think are very cool can easily be defeated by somebody saying like that doesn't look cool at all. I don't know. I think that is definitely a skill issue, especially since the Apple thing is supposed to be like augmented reality that you would wear around rather than like using a VR headset in your house. That's true. I forgot that it's supposed to be based around AR. Oh god, I've read that like it like produces an image of your eyes to simulate the like if you're wearing it and somebody's talking to you, it like simulates a picture of your eyes. That's so awful. I hate that. Okay, let me reduce the size of this bird. Even more. Okay, now we can work on the trees. You know, this is definitely like a personal opinion. I actually like drawing trees from reference. I find something very soothing about just like following the contours of the nature or of like the natural growth of these things as best as I can. I don't know. There's something very meditative about drawing trees. Bob Ross was totally on the money with this. You know what? I think I will draw some happy little trees. Thank you very much. Yeah. The funniest thing as well is that like the app. Yeah, trees are so neat. I like trees. I need to hug a tree. People do that as a bit, right? Like they use that as like a derogatory term for like peace activists, right? Like tree hugger. Like, have you all hugged a tree recently? I want to like give it a shot myself. I feel like it's been a while since like I've hugged a tree properly. You know, really thanked it for doing its best out there. Yeah, Marge Simpson voice. I just think they're neat. Hmm. Anyway, yeah, the Apple thing is especially funny because like Facebook also like 3 days. I want to say like 3 days before they made the headset, the Apple announcement. Facebook also announced like a new version of the Quest, which is their kind of like answer to the Oculus, right? And to be honest, you're probably gonna if you are looking for like a budget headset. From what I understand, the Quest is like fairly decent. It's not. It's definitely like not as good. Like I think like a VR headset is definitely one of those things you want to like properly invest in, right? You don't want to get like a crappy one because I feel like those are, you know, you're gonna be presumably wearing those for a long period of time. So I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things where you definitely don't want to scrimp out on. But from what I understand, people do enjoy using the Quest quite a bit. And, you know, if it's a new one, hopefully it'll have even more powerful hardware. Yeah. Whenever I think of that, of like the issues with like hardware and everything, you know, I try not to be like one of those dudes who's like super about computer specs, right? I'm not gonna be one of those dudes who's like, yeah, no, if you're not like doing this and that with like freaking if you're not like hooking up Deep Blue to personally back up your graphics card, I don't even want to talk to you, right? Like I'm not one of those guys who like is super about graphics. And that's probably because I have only very recently had the chance to like use a nice computer, right? Like my computer is not to brag, but my computer right now is a little bit of a beast. But for a while before that, I was basically streaming off of like non-gaming laptops and everything, and that's actually quite. Those things are rather sensitive. They're not the most powerful machines out there. I had the good fortune of like getting one of the more powerful Lenovo ones. Yeah, I think it was like an idea pad, and I used that to stream for a long time. Anyway, this is all to say that I think like the VR headset. VR is such an interesting technology, right? Because I feel like it's very limited. Not in the sense that it isn't capable of doing a lot. It is capable of doing a lot, but it's very limited in its reach. Because not a whole lot of people are at least not yet, while it's still like, price of admission is at least, how much is it? How much is the Quest 2? Hang on. Meta Quest 2, let's see. $419, with it, or actually, okay, 530 Canadian, right? That's like a sizable price of admission. That's a little bit of a hurdle. Not a lot of people want to make an investment in something that might make them throw up in 5 minutes or less. Unless they're going to like one of those off-brand fast food places, and even then, they're not spending $500 to do it. In any case, I feel like as long as VR is still really like inaccessible as a price point, I feel like we're not gonna be seeing a whole lot of like interesting stuff done with it. Like we are still seeing innovation for it. Don't get me wrong. There is a game. If I ever get a VR headset, big, 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 big if. But if I ever get a VR headset, I remember seeing this one game called Boneworks. Only really used VR like twice, but it was kind of neat. It was also years ago, so presumably fancier now. But yeah, it's just hard to get access to it in general. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, there was this one VR game called Boneworks, which had a lot, which was like a really in depth like combat game, and it looks super interesting. Wayne Radio TV, if you know that guy, he streamed it he streamed himself playing what he called Boneworks a couple of times, and I thought it looked fascinating. I remember there's also like one game that's supposed to be like Earthbending the video game, which I find really interesting. Yeah, and of course there's the evergreen Beat Saber. Beat Saber would kick my ass, dude. I have a hard enough time in rhythm games coordinating like two or three fingers at a time. If you tell me to do like whole body coordination to do fucking three story of like 3 billion nights, what was that song called? Like, hang on, let me look up the name of the song. 3 trillion years in one night. Yeah, like if you like ask me to like do full body coordination to like play through a map of 3 billion years, 3 trillion years in one night, my I would like automatically be sent into the Yamcha pose. I wouldn't even need to get into it for that much. Like the song would start, the first beat would hit, and I would be on the floor, half dead, rasping for air, on my death rattle. Writing my last will and testament. My lawyer is present for this occasion. He knew what I was getting into. Anyway, yeah. Full body rhythm games would be my personal hell. There's something very I don't know, like I don't know. Maybe it's because like I used to be like I'm used to like overachieving at stuff, and like seeing a screen, without practice, seeing like a screen give me like an F ranking for something that I actually just wanted to have fun playing. When a rhythm game can take you out of a song for scoring poorly enough, that is like my worst nightmare. That is like legitimately one of the few ways that you can like terrify me. Well, no, there's a lot of ways you can terrify me, but that's one of the few surefire ways to terrify me. I played Elite Beat Agent for the DS, and brother, let me tell you, whenever I failed a song on that game, it felt like my heart split a little bit. Man, I just need to be less sensitive sometimes. Having a heart as wide as the ocean has its benefits, but I just wish I didn't feel so bad when the video game man told me that I did a bad job. In that regard, playing Disco Elysium was a very healthy experience, I feel. Yeah, Disco Elysium is one of those games that like encourages you and actually like to some extent incentivizes you for being kind of a weirdo and, you know, facing the consequences of your actions hereafter. I feel like that was a good experience for me. I need to replay Disco Elysium and like, you know, develop some thicker skin. It's like it's like that on the opposite of that one Nosaki-kun panel where he's like, here, you should also read some shoujo manga from time to time to develop some emotions. You should play Disco Elysium from time to time to, you know, not break down in tears when somebody on the internet is mean to you, or when the man on the screen is mean to you. I have good robustness for people like being mean to me on the internet. I absolutely don't have robustness when it comes to like video game people being mean to me. And I think it's because I actually value the opinions of the fake video game people over the opinions of like actual people who I don't know being mean to me on the internet. In that regard, I'm actually pretty well off. Let's see. Oh yeah. Speaking of being mean to fake people, I hear that apparently when I keep forgetting the name of the place, Microsoft. It's weird that I forget Microsoft's name. I feel like that's one of the few names I shouldn't forget, or I shouldn't be able to forget. In any case, Microsoft is apparently taking Cortana out back behind the shed sometime soon. I think they're hoping to like. First of all, I don't know a single person in my life who actually uses Cortana all that much. The one like singular instance where like Cortana really had like any bearing on like my mindscape was this one clip of a VTuber called Orocrony, where she was trying to play a game. Don't know anybody that's actually ever wanted or used that yet. Like people use Siri. Siri's a smash hit. Siri's super popular. Cortana, I don't know her. I don't know anybody who uses her. Cortana's not all that popular. Cortana doesn't have that many friends. But yeah, Oro Crony, she was playing. She was trying to play like one of those phone gotcha games, right? And for some reason, Cortana in her system started acting up like crazy. It didn't even like do anything in particular. It just kept saying, "Hi, I'm Cortana," or hang on, "Hi, I'm Cortana," in a very cheerful voice. And I just kept doing that over and over. And she obviously got very freaked out by that. I also got a little bit freaked out. I've never seen that program do that. I think I don't want to think about like what it was trying to do too much. But that's like the one time Cortana has ever been relevant. Day one, I turned that thing off. I don't think I have Cortana on. I don't know if it's possible to have it off completely because Microsoft, tries to incentivize its users into using its knockoff Siri product. But I did my best to suppress it. To this day, at least Cortana hasn't bothered me ever. Like I've never had that moment where like Cortana bothered me. To my knowledge, nobody else has. This is like a unique circumstance that happened specifically to haunt that poor woman. But yeah, R.I.P. Cortana, I guess. Well, no, it's not like they're taking her out of service tomorrow. I think it's probably before, probably some either this year or 2024, but definitely like sometime in in like the near future. Man, I mean, I don't know why. I've noticed that like games no longer. I don't know. Maybe I just haven't been attending the right video game showcases or whatever. Right. I feel like games no longer announce themselves to be like 2 or 3 years in the future. I feel like whenever a game is like announcing itself, it's either going to drop later that year or like it's going to drop like right now. I don't know. I feel like I used to see things more often being like coming in like 2023 or something. And probably some AAA games still do that from time to time. Yeah, probably still some AAA games or like some games with enough like, cultural clout to be able to like delay into forever. Tears of the Kingdom didn't have any release date when it was first announced. Oh yeah. And then it came out like, what was it now? A month ago? 2 months ago? I can't tell. I honestly can't tell. I don't remember when did Tears of the Kingdom come out? Google or DuckDuckGo, I guess. Nintendo in general announces games further out, generally sometimes still. Oh, I see. May 12th, 2023. Okay, so yeah, just about a month ago. And in the time since, people have done unspeakable things to those poor little forest creatures. I straight up feel bad for the Koroks, man. I'm not gonna lie. I never played Breath of the Wild, so I never really got to like know the Koroks in detail, but they can't have deserved all that. I will admit, I laughed a little bit when I saw one getting launched in a rocket the first time. I did laugh a little bit, but then some of these have gotten like downright mean. Listen, the Korok being on a rocket is fine. He's gonna reach his friend. It'll all be okay. That thing is gonna be the first Korok on the moon. It'll be a fantastic honor. They shall hold feasts in his memory. The other ones, not so much. The other ones make me feel like there's going to be some kind of support group for the Koroks that needs to be started because the hero of Hyrule put one of them in like a blender, constructed out of fucking duct tape and batteries. Oh well, that's life in Hyrule, I suppose. Sometimes you make the contraption, sometimes the contraption gets you. If nothing else, they've been getting, karmically speaking, they've been getting as good as they've been giving as good as they're getting because of the fact that like so many people try out to make stupid builds and eventually do like some wily coyote shit and explode themselves. So if nothing else, they're getting at least a little bit of vindication. Okay, there we go. Speaking of video games, I can't wait to get back into Street Fighter 6. I'll probably stream that early next week as well, or multiple times. I need to fucking finish like a Dragonetian. I need to get on that hustle. How long have I been playing like a Dragonetian? Like it's definitely been more than 10 episodes, and assuming I'm playing like once a week, not counting that one outlier, it's been like it's been a while. So ideally I'll finish it sometime soon. Yeah. I've been like cutting up the clip from Street Fighter yesterday to kind of like get better at making clips again. Approaching the end, maybe I have no idea. No, I'm definitely like getting further along in the story. I feel like the way that I talked to like one of the NPCs, and the way it was phrased makes me think that there's definitely going to be like a point of no return after I do the next story mission. So in the meantime, I just want to be able to do as much as possible. I've been consulting a few guys about like the last few side quests that I have to get through. Thankfully, it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot. But yeah, it feels good. I think it'll feel very good once I finish like a Yakuza game on stream. I feel like once I do that, I'll never be compelled to do it again. Because as much as I've liked my time with Like a Dragon Ishin, I do feel like the next time I pick up a Yakuza game, I'm just gonna play it by myself. Speaking of Street Fighter Six, I do wonder if anybody is meant if we're gonna eventually see some maniac beat like the world tour modes NPCs in like a record amount of time. I feel like somebody out there must have the chops to like do the equivalent of like one hit point running everybody as soon as they meet them. That definitely wasn't me, but I imagine that at least some dude must have been able to like beat Luke's face and ass a little bit during the prologue there. I would like to see it. I want to know if it's possible. Not so that I can try to reperform it, but maybe so that I have some catharsis from just how badly he pummeled me. He let me do like 13, 12, 15 spinning bird kicks on him, and then he was like, all right, enough is enough. Yeah, that was actually really funny. I can't blame him for that. I like to imagine that like he was like waiting for me to like to like build up enough steam. Like he's just like, all right, maybe this time. No, wait. Let him go for a little while longer. It'll be so funny when we just completely Vulcan blast him into oblivion. And he was right. Yeah. Okay, and then I'll thicken it up a little bit here. All right, let's do this side of the tree. Actually, wait. Do we need to do the trees over here? No. Ooh, unless. Hang on. Okay, putting these guys back here. Oh yeah. Now it's all coming together. Come to think of it, I probably could have done this for a few other trees as well, but like, it works. Yeah, the cool thing about drawing like all these kind of organic lines is that even if you flip them around, nobody's going to be able to tell like that they're repeated. Especially if you take away some of like the more distinguishing ones, like this one back here that kind of like branches out into a Y. Do a big stretch. Oh. I read the other day that apparently June 2nd is National Donut Day. And honestly, I feel kind of bad that I missed out on it a little bit. I missed on the opportunity to celebrate with it a little bit. I love donuts. I like most donuts is a thing. I do have ones like Boston cream, for example. I'm not really a fan of, but like most donuts, they're all right to me. I like them. I don't know. The thing is, like, there's no unless you count like how do I put this? I feel like the places where you can get like nice donuts in this town are all like a little bit too bougie, you know? They have like all these specialty ones that they gave cute names to, and that's awesome, but at the same time, it makes the feeling of like getting donuts from these places feel a little bit like you need to it makes me feel like I need to make a day out of it. There's like an invisible pressure to make the most out of this donut day. Yeah, you need to make an experience, a proper donut shindig. A donut extravaganza. Dude, what if like if Dunkin's ever goes out of business, the the potential for people to make like video like YouTube documentaries of what happens to Dunkin' Donuts and being able to call it like going down the donut hole, that's gonna usher in like a golden age of donut based puns. It's gonna be insufferable for like the first 2 weeks, but like the first few ones are gonna be really funny. All right. Anyway, going back to the second panel here. What's some weird looking bird? Weird looking bird on the Google. I want to like get an idea for how I should make the front of this thing look. Ooh, this is fun. Yeah, gotta look at that. I love it when birds have like built-in pompadours and shit. Like when they have like some kind of weird crest. I like it when birds have that. Yeah. It turns out being descended from dinosaurs means that you get some pretty cool body functions. And also apparently makes your bones hollow. Why do turkeys have wattles? Hang on. I kind of wanted to give this thing wattles. What are wattles for exactly? How this article starts out. Take a close look at a male wild turkey, if you dare. This turkey is a hefty 4 feet of bird, tail tip to beak. Its handsome, dark, and densely feathered body is topped by a bare neck. And there, dangling from the chin, is a wrinkly mass of bumpy, warty-looking red skin. The wattle. Why have a wattle? Wattles are an adaptive feature that come in handy in several ways. On a hot day with the sun bearing down, the bare skin of neck and wattle helps release excess heat. They don't sweat, can't sweat, so the turkey is otherwise trapped in its dense, dark feathers. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, and it's also used in courting. I see. Apparently, if a predator appears, in a moment of fear, the blood may retract from the wattle, turning it blue. Huh. That's fascinating. I didn't know that was like their. I didn't know that was like. I kind of guessed that it was something to do with heat manipulation. I didn't know that it could do the whole like turning blue thing. That's kind of neat. Oh, I like this guy. Let me get the student here. Yeah. That being said, the coolest bird I've ever seen is this like red vulture thing that looks extremely like a dinosaur. Yeah, bearded vulture. This is the coolest bird that I've ever seen. So normally they don't have like their feathers are white like this, but they in their native terrains they have like really like clay like reddish mud. So when they really get into it, they end up looking like this, and I think that's awesome. Yeah, let's give this dude some waddles. I'm on the wrong layer. How do I put this? Whenever it's weird because like whenever I draw on a layer that isn't a vector layer, I can almost kind of like feel the difference, but I don't notice it. It's only after I've realized I'm on a different layer that I was like, huh, it has felt weird drawing for the last 3 or so seconds. Maybe there is like a subtle difference in feedback since the vector layers do use a different technology. I have heard of this like mobile app called Vectorize, which is a vector art program for mobile. I do wonder if there's like a way to run that on PC. It'll be interesting trying out like an actual vector art program that isn't like Adobe Illustrator and makes me want to rip out my hair, or what little hair I would theoretically have. I'm overthinking this. I'm just going to copy and paste the other one, paste it here. This one's interesting. It's like got a little bit of a dangle to it, huh? Like it looks like an elephant's trunk almost. I should probably use a symmetry pen, symmetry thing somewhere around here. And probably apply it somewhere around here. There we go. Oh yeah. I love it when there's a good opportunity to use a symmetry ruler. It makes me feel so clever when I actually remember to like apply it. Okay. Let me take a look at like an actual hawk. Lots of these are taken from the ground, which is unsurprising. Here we go. I want one that's like, ooh, here we go, here we go, here we go. Yeah, and this, oh, you can also tell like this thing's eyes are more forward facing too. Right, the predatory instinct. Or like the predatory feature. It's interesting as well because you can actually see a little bit that hang on. Let me try and grab everything here. You can actually see that the bird's head is almost kind of like built into the neck here. Just gonna very quickly lower the opacity on this and then bring it over here. Okay. Let's just take this from the top. Bird beaks have always been like a sort of object of grotesque fascination for me because I don't understand how they can be both hard and soft. Right, but because like this part here, like near the lip flaps, is gonna be soft so they can open and close their mouths. But like the beak itself kind of like branches out from that. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna grab these, fling them. Okay, flatten them, and then fling them down a little bit. Oh god, that looks so much scarier. And bring this whole thing up. Oh shoot, did I accidentally like change the... Oh, I think I did. I might have changed the symmetry around a little bit. Alright, I'll handle that later then. Well, we're already kind of making this asymmetrical. Let me shrink down the eyes some. Okay. this. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, boss. You're gonna have a dull as hell coating. I'm gonna keep it real with you, Bert. That I just made up in my head. You're gonna have a really dull coating. Or at least I'm planning on giving it one. I don't know. I might change my mind around, but that's unlikely. I don't know. Is there like a texture brush that I could use to like simulate feathers? There might be. I'll need to shop around the asset store. Yeah. I don't know. I used to have very complicated feelings about like using other people's brushes and everything, right? I hadn't quite internalized the phrase "steal like an artist" just yet. I think the having access to the asset store helped a lot with that regard, though, because when I used the asset store from Clip Studio, right, it felt less like I was like stealing and more like I was like taking with permission, because everybody who puts something on the asset store is doing it to kind of like help others, right? Unless, like, unless they're charging for it, right? Unless they're charging for it, it's explicitly a kind of like gesture of goodwill. They want you to be able to use these because they also wanted other people to like have an easier time doing these things. So I think having access to that kind of like to the asset store and that having that mentality toward it helped a lot to kind of like give myself permission to use other people's assets. All right. Turn off the hawk and turn off the symmetry tool. Should I make it bald? I want to make it bald. No, that doesn't feel nice. That doesn't give it like any more of an alien look than it already had. Okay, and then gonna have these like little tail tassels just kind of flapping around everywhere. Maybe like this. There we go. Oh yeah, I read the other day that like now they finally, they've made an experiment where they figured out how to transfer energy from the sun wirelessly. So wireless energy transfer is one of those things that I had a lot of trouble conceptualizing at first because I'm like, well, wait, if you're transferring energy wirelessly, like, then shouldn't there be wires involved? I don't know how to put it. Like it's one of those things I always had a hard time like understanding in depth. So it turns out that the way they do it is that there's like this like solar panel array floating around in space, right? So what they've done is that they've hooked that up to like a microwave transmitter array with a receiver, with a counterpart array receiver back on Earth. So the microwave thingies in space just microwave the energy back to Earth, which I think is very interesting. I don't know, is that how like wireless phone chargers are also used? Like, I remember seeing one of those in real for the first time in my life, and I was just impressed. Like a lot of recent technological advancements haven't been great, but I feel like wireless chargers are one of those things that like was always supposed to be in the future. Like I feel like we should have gotten wireless chargers like in the same era as like we got the Wii. I don't put this like I feel like if a kid from like 1987 came to 2020 and like 16, they'd be like, "Hey, where are all the wireless chargers for like these new cool cell phone thingies that you're lugging around?" And we'd be like, "Oh, we don't have those." And he'd be like, "Well, that's whack." Or I don't know. He'd say something like, "It's that's so not fresh," because he's from the 90s. All right, and then over here. Okay, I'm gonna need to boost stabilization by quite a bit here. And simplify this line a lot. Okay. Expand the size of this. Flatten it out a little bit. Perfect. Okay, flatten this out again. These like diamond-shaped stars are one of the few things that I always find really difficult to pull off. Unfortunately, I like them very, very much. So I'm a little bit of a loss here. Well, is that one post that said something like, the answer to doing stuff you're not used to is to just do it scared? Sometimes that really is the case, I feel. You know what? I bet I can actually like just add a little bit here. There has to be something I can do. Wait, what if I used like a speech bubble? Hang on. I've just had a massive brain moment. Something like this. All right. So here's how we're going to do this. Control point, delete control point. Okay. There we go. Wait, what if... Hang on. Okay, first of all, let's simplify these guys, right? Oh, that did not go well at all. Let's try it more like this. How's that? Not quite simplified enough. That's more like it. That should be good. Yeah, okay. Okay, let's keep these guys around. And in the meantime, okay, we only really need these two, so we'll just keep erasing all the control points along the way there. Okay. Yeah, okay. There we go. I love it when thinking smarter instead of harder is an actually valid solution. Don't get me wrong, it's a good thing to go about things efficiently, but it's not always the answer. Or rather, it's not going to solve all your problems. Even if you have the most efficient thing in mind, you still need to put in the work, right? Okay, drag this over here. Drag this dude all the way over here. That's more like it. Okay. And then... let's erase this point here. I wonder if CSP's vector functions are going to be enough to like have a crash course in Adobe Illustrator. Probably not. But it'd be nice to think that they do transfer some degree of the skill. Okay, let me add another one right here. Okay, move this to the right, to the left, right, left, right. Okay, then drag these a little bit to the right. Bring that in just a little bit more. It sounds like this when I feel the most like a home designer. Being like, a little bit more to the left, a little bit more to the right. I feel like I should be picking out color swatches to go with this thing. Which it technically will be in, like, I don't know, whenever this thing manages to get done. Or whenever I move to the coloring phase, I mean. There we go. Okay, I think that should be enough for today. I will... Yeah, I'll talk this idea over with Raph and see what he thinks. But in the meantime, thank you all for coming by. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow with some fan art. I hope you all have a chance to swing by then too. And if you don't, it was nice seeing you. Later. Bye.